I also feel like high turnover is a management issue. It's you. If people keep on leaving, it's you. And one thing I do as a business owner, I keep myself extremely accountable. And I talk to my people with respect. I don't ever belittle them or make them feel any type of way, because at the end of the day, these are people that are building my dream.
Absolutely.
And without them, like, I don't have anything, because I can't do it all. And that's another thing that a lot of entrepreneurs forget, is you can't do it all. If you do, somewhere else is lacking. Somewhere else is lacking. You gotta find the money to hire one person to do something, take it off your plate so you can focus on the financial aspect, on scaling, on growing, on how to run the day-to-day, because if you're doing everything, you can't see it. And that's always something, like, when you're in it, you can't see it. Somebody on the outside is going to tell you something that might look so obvious, but because you're wearing all the hats and you're doing all of these things, you can't see it. And I think that that's what happened to me. In the beginning, I didn't think I had any money to pay anybody. Like, I had to do everything. I had to drive. I had to take care of it. I had to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would get off at 11 o'clock at night, and then I would go back up again at 4 o'clock in the morning. And emotionally, it was very hard. I don't know how I made it through that time frame. And I'm thankful for my friends, for my family, that really stepped up and took care of me. You know, while I was building it. But yeah, business is hard.
I see something, it's coming up on the horizon. Oh, let me clear my head and get rid of the distractions.
All right, ladies, hi. How are you doing?
Hello.
I'm not gonna lie, my heart is hurting, you guys. I'm a little devastated, but we're gonna talk about that. You know, we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna have to push through. Push through.
That's what we do.
Because that's what we do. Yes, Crystal, that's right. Sasha.
Yes, ma'am.
You're giving me Houston cowgirl. You're giving me fourth member of Destiny's Child.
Yes, come on, Houston. H-Town.
With the Lazy Dudes. You're cute, girl.
Showing the legs.
Hey,
You're showing
every
the
now and again I get it
legs
together.
and the hips
And the body.
Crystal, real cute. It took you a minute to put that hair in a bun,
Yes. It
Yeah.
was a lot.
The theme for the season. Bun. Bonnet.
Yes. All right, guys. So, listen, I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
You know, as stylists, we've been doing this for a really, really long time. Wow, I said really, really long time, like we're really old.
Right.
It's okay.
We're not that
That hurt
old.
my heart.
We look good.
But as stylists, seasoned stylists, when you learn a new technique, are you like, oh my gosh, when you get that client who books for that new technique, are you like excited, or do you feel like, oh man, this about to be this is basically gonna be like my guinea pig? Like, oh, I'm kind of nervous. Like, how do you feel when you learn a new technique and you just not sure? Like, what's the vibe?
I feel like I go through the motions. Like, while I'm learning it, I'm really excited. But then when it's time for me to do it, it's like, okay, do you think you're really ready? But I don't ever do something unless I feel like I'm fully prepared to do it. But there's still like a nervous energy that surrounds you, you know, like after you finish blow drying, you're picking up the comb to start, you're like, okay, I'm really about to do this. So I would say it's a mixture of both. I'm both excited and nervous at the same time. But most of the time, I'm very sure that I'll be able to accomplish what it is that I'm about to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would have to say it depends on the client. Because some clients you could be like, friend, we trying this.
Yeah,
okay? We trying. And then they'll be like, okay, then try it. Because they have like a, if it don't work, it don't work kind of attitude about it. Then I'll be like, it's almost like I end up accomplishing it because they so like, whatever happened, it happened kind of thing. But then when you have somebody who's just like, I don't have that type of relationship with or whatever, then I'm just like, okay, I've done it before. Because nothing I have on there is not something I've done before, but maybe I haven't done it in a while, or I took the class, I know a new technique about it. Then I'm like, I don't know how this person is gonna respond, kind of thing. So then that's when I'm nervous.
Gotcha.
But if it's somebody who's just like, girl, go ahead, I trust you.
Yeah.
Then sometimes that even puts pressure on it, because I'd be like, oh, don't tell me you trust me for real. You trust me for real.
No, I agree with you, Sasha. Like for me, if it's a client that I have built a strong relationship with, we're kind of like in this together. So I'm like, girl, this is what we're about to do. Or funny enough, if there is something, because now I started to offer, almost it's been a year now I do the links and the tapings and stuff. I remember my clients were like, Angel, you doing this yet? Because as soon as you're doing it, I want you to try it on me. Like they were like almost kind of pushing like, I don't care, I'll be the guinea pig, I don't mind. So that makes me a little bit more comfortable. So that makes me excited. But if it is a new client, I'm gonna be super nervous, like dropping my comb on the floor, like just kind of like a little flustered, like okay, I'm like, oh. So I'll be like, girl, hold on, give me a second, I'll be right back, and I'm going back and forth, like, okay, you about to, okay, so just make sure you remember to do this before you do this. So like I'm in my head too much, and I think that kind of could throw me off with a new client, whereas like, you know, like you were saying, Sasha, that level of comfort is there with your regular, you know, that's your girl. Even if you mess it up, she's still gonna be like,
it's okay,
it's okay, girl, you know, whatever. So yeah, I definitely agree. But I think the interesting part of this question is the fact that whether you're nervous or excited, the fact that we're continuously again trying to elevate ourselves, trying to learn, trying to continue to grow individually in our business is what continues to make us successful.
Right.
So I love that, and that's why I love you guys.
Oh,
But not to even be funny, sometimes the stuff that make me nervous be like ponytails.
Oh, girl.
Oh God.
You be like, this is the
Ponytails are like,
okay.
But these
Take me
ponytails
rest.
are different nowadays. Okay, like ponytails is not like when my mama was doing ponytails. Ponytails are so sleek and so clean, and man, it's an art.
Yes.
It's an art for sure. So yeah, I can see why you get nervous when it comes to that ponytail.
Right, because I have a bride who's getting like, when I tell you no extensions, no, that she wants the slick little bun thing. And I did it for another bride who's her friend, and she was like, yeah, I want that, pretty much the exact thing. But then she sent me a picture, and I was like, oh, this is the one with the three, like you know, they make it where it's like 3 different sections, and you see the different sections come together, and I was like, see, now y'all taking this to a whole nother level. You said you wanted a
just take out the
ponytail.
mannequin, take out the mannequin, and
That's when you gotta pull out that old school mannequin, gotta brush her out. And
get to work.
Get to work and start to practice for sure.
Exactly.
Well, ladies, listen. We're gonna cheers to that. Cheers to that. I don't know what this is, but Sasha,
we don't know either.
Sasha, you concocted something for us today.
And then Crystal came and fixed it. That's what we're like.
So I'm gonna sip with caution, but I'm excited still. Like I'm excited, but I'm gonna still slow. Let me see.
No, I think it tastes good. I don't know. Maybe it don't.
Oh, this is fire.
Oh, look at.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get a job here.
Look at you.
Mix and
Always
drink.
trying to work.
I know. I need to do better.
The next job is I'm a bartender.
All right.
No, we're gonna own a restaurant. That's
Listen,
ownership. That's what we're talking about.
listen, I cannot. So, guys, today's episode is called "So You Wanna Be a Boss." You wanna be a boss? You wanna be a boss? Man, that boss word, that people throw it around a lot, huh?
It's heavy. It's heavy.
No,
It's overused.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like people throw it around so much, and I'm kind of like, do you even take it seriously now when somebody say they're a boss?
True.
I mean, but do you really know what comes with it, though? From the rooter to the tutor, from the start to the, it's a lot.
It is.
I mean, we're going to be getting into that today, and I'm really excited because not only are we going to get into that, but we have another guest.
Yeah.
Come on down.
I feel like she's a big boss.
Big,
Big
yeah.
boss.
Yeah. But
And-
she's so humble, you know. Just
Well, that's important when you're going into entrepreneurship, and I think a lot of people don't really value that enough,
right.
especially with the whole social media of it all. But yeah,
Right.
so Crystal, tell us who's here. I want to know.
Oh, I'm so excited and nervous, just like
So extra.
She's
Okay.
so silly, you guys.
Okay, guys, so today we have a very, very, very close friend, sister, family, everything that you want to call it. Her name is Nathalie, and I'm just so proud of her to see her growth, to see all that she's doing, all that she has plans to do. It's just super exciting, and I'm just happy to watch her walk this path in her life. And she's gonna drop some bits on y'all.
Ooh,
Okay,
true,
so
true.
y'all get ready.
Yes,
All right.
honey. All right, you guys. So here we have Nathalie. Nathalie, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little nervous, but happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of
Thank you for
course.
coming.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Chrissy been hiding your sister.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody see her little fine self.
Oh.
So, Nathalie, today's episode is about being a boss, and from what Crystal has told us, you are a big boss. we just want to be like you, and we just want to be like you.
Girl, she been telling all your business.
A small boss, not the big one yet.
No, we're definitely all striving to get there for sure. So, one of the first questions that I have for you, Nathalie, is, of course, the basic. What made you decide to become an entrepreneur?
I think that, pretty much I've always had like an entrepreneur spirit. Watching my dad grow up, my dad had a very popular a body shop and sold cars.
Okay.
So I was in the auctions from a little kid, watching their flexibility with my mom and my dad. My mom worked in the business as well, and so my dad is really good at starting businesses. He's just not really good at keeping them functional. So I just, transitioning through that, seeing all of the things that he went through. I had a job, I tried the whole school thing, but I got married really young. I had a baby younger, like 19. And so I realized that, if the lifestyle that I want to live and the things that I like, it's going to be really hard for me to achieve that by working for someone, and kind of like, either you build your own dream or you help build someone else's.
True.
And I'm not here to like downplay or, anyone who has a job, like kudos to you, because I really believe that if you can't work a 9 to 5, you can't be an entrepreneur. Because or at least for a small business, because where's the discipline going to come from?
Yes.
When you are a small business, you don't have a sick day. Like there's no one to say, you know what, I'm not going in today. Like they're going to be all right. No, they're not going to be all right, because they is you.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have that discipline and that tenacity to try to get it done, like, I don't think it's for everybody, is what I'm saying. And that's where the system of checks and balances comes from. Like some people are meant to have a good job, and some people are, meant to be entrepreneurs. And if you do work, I always want someone to go for the highest paid position in whatever their field is. So that's my advice to people who do have a job. But yeah, that's kind of like how I got into entrepreneurship. I've been around it my whole life. And I watched my parents thrive at entrepreneurship and have everything, and then have nothing. So I was able to see both sides of it, and which is why I kind of like, I take risk but mitigated risk.
Such a nice word.
Yeah.
You dropped a gem when you were like, if you can't work a 9 to 5, you can't be a boss. Because I think a lot of kids, a lot of young ladies, and we can just talk from a hair perspective, they leave hair school and they're like, let me go get a suite, let me go do this. And it's like, if you've never had the discipline to do 40 hours at somebody else's job, and I particularly remember getting a piece of advice from the dean of like my hair school. She was like, oh, I see you ready to go start something. She said, put 5 years into somebody, and it is somebody else's dream, but you can learn.
So you're building yourself.
You know what I'm saying? As you're building yourself, people be ready to jump out there and be like, oh, I want to do real estate. Have you even taken a real estate class? Have you ever sat under somebody who did flips? Have you ever just gone and got your real estate license, even if you don't have a true interest in being like a real estate agent?
Right.
All the steps that's in between, a lot of people don't want to take that. They don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think that was a big jewel that you dropped there, that 9 to 5, because let me tell you something, when you're an entrepreneur, it's 24/7. So it sounds, and that's why we're talking about being a boss. I feel like that word is thrown around so much because it sounds nice to know, and even when people walk, or I'm sure with you, Nathalie, people hear you're an entrepreneur, like, oh, you're so lucky, you could fly out whenever you want, you could do this, and they're like, no, because like you said, if I'm not there, the business isn't functioning. So it is a 24/7. Like I will leave the salon, go home, having to respond to emails, it's never ending. It's always something going on. But it's also very gratifying, when it is your true passion, when it is something that you've taken the time to do the back end work and know what you're doing. So definitely, for sure. Thank you for telling us that, because I don't think people hear it enough. Like, get into the 9 to 5 of it, guys. I'm just saying.
I want to add to that. I think that social media has like distorted a lot of people's views about business. an EIN number, get an LLC, you know, buy something for $1 and sell it for $3. Like, and you're rich. You know, it's like they glorify business, and I want, you know, to make it abundantly clear that business is really hard. In the beginning, you know, while you're building it. If you're an entrepreneur and a small business owner, you're gonna be the one putting in that time to build it. Now, if you have you know, a big backing behind you, you're a startup with millions of seed rounds, you know, that's different because you can hire all the appropriate people. You're still going to be involved in it, obviously, but the load is lighter. But when you're a small business owner and you're trying to get to it, it's hard. And there are no 40-hour weeks. It's 60, 80-hour weeks, 100-hour weeks. And my first business literally broke me. And that's why I feel like to do anything, because it was debilitating. It was painful. I was broke. I had more money before I started that than, you know, when I got into this, because I had to give all my resources to this one thing. So that's just another point where I want to make sure, you know, everyone is abundantly clear that, yo, like, social media has literally distorted what it means to build a business, how to be successful. There's shortcuts, but you got to put that time in.
Yeah, absolutely. So that brings me to another question that I have for you, because you kind of said something when you brought in the social media. And so what to you is the difference between a hustler and an entrepreneur? Because I feel like a lot of people, you know, they be getting them mixed up. What do you think?
I think that a hustler is just like less structured. But for me, I apply hustle to every part of my life. You know, it's just more structured, and I wasn't always like that. Like, I work the best under pressure. I'm not gonna throw putty at a wall and see what sticks. Like I said, I take mitigated risks and calculated risks. But yeah, like, I don't think you can be a successful entrepreneur if you don't have hustle. But you can't, just because you're a hustler don't mean you can be an entrepreneur. Because again, it's the discipline. If you don't have the discipline, if you don't put the time in, also to continue to evolve and learn, like no, I met a friend some years ago, it was like 15 years ago, and he said something to me like, anytime he opens a new business, he treats it like drugs. He literally bags it up, he weighs it, and he sells it. Whether it's clothes, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a service center business, and that is what I always think. Okay, so if I buy at this, and then I do this, if I offer the service at that, and to be consistent. So I kind of apply the same ethics, and I know it's, you know, not a typical, you know,
but it makes sense.
But it works for you. Yeah.
So if that's the way your mind works, especially if you're a street person that's trying to, you know, trying to be better and be an entrepreneur, convert from being a hustler to that, look at it that way. But at the end of the day, to me, a hustler doesn't really have a lot of structure or a lot of discipline. And as an entrepreneur, you don't just get to say, well, this ain't selling no more, so I'm done with this. Like, now you got to figure it out. Now you got to pivot. Now you got to see, okay, so what's next? While I maintain this, my employees, my 5-year commercial lease, my suite, whatever, you know, whatever scale your business is on.
What do you guys think about that, the difference between a hustler and an entrepreneur?
I mean, I feel like Nathalie hit all the points, like all the good points of it. Because sometimes you'll see people, I think sometimes we mix up the word hustle and hustler. You know what I'm saying? And people be like, because sometimes people think that's that person trying to cheat you out of money. The people who out here scamming, or the people who doing the noni juices and or whatever. You know, and they be like, oh, it's a hustler. And it's just like she said, it's like, I put hustle in everything that I do. I'm going to be putting in that grind, but I'm not going to let the grind like completely take, like, the point of becoming an entrepreneur is to create something that can run when you are not there. If you are running a business that's completely centered around you, you are not really doing the job. You have to make everything franchisable. I remember that I was on a call, and I think I told you ladies about it, where they were talking about that, oh, pay yourself first. And I was like, I can't pay myself first. I'm gonna pay my business first, because my goal is to make my business pay me forever. But I can't make a business that pays me forever if I'm paying me first. Because guess what? I'm still eating, drinking, spending, buying, whereas my business is going to hopefully turn around and support me. And I think that's that little, I don't even want to say it's like a 360 turn or even a 180 turn. It's like 45-degree difference between just being a hustler and being an entrepreneur. It's creating those systems, creating that structure that says, okay, that hard work I'm putting in is also going to lead to something where I can't take a trip when I want to, right? But most people who are entrepreneurs, they're not taking a trip when they want to. They've planned it. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know on this day, all the bills have been paid. That, you know, so I can go for 2 weeks to Dubai because I've set myself up to do it. There's structure to that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think a big part of it too is there's different stages in becoming and being an entrepreneur. In the beginning, we are there, like she said, the first one broke her, and I saw her and I saw that she was giving it her all, like her blood, her sweat, her tears. And I feel like if you don't do that in the beginning, you're not gonna have anything at the end. You know what I mean? And even though she had to put in all of that, guess what? She is able to go on breaks now. She is able to live the life that she wanted to live, but she had to start somewhere first, where she had to be there 24/7, like she said, doing 40, 60, 80 hours. But now she doesn't have to do that because she's figured out how to scale the business, how to make the business functionable without her. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. It's not just 1 and then you're at 10. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We all can count, right? We cannot jump from 1 to 10. So that hustling comes in there. It's right in the middle. I feel like when you get to that middle point, you have to look at yourself and be like, okay, where is it that I'm trying to go? Right?
Would you say hustle is like that next gear? Because at first it's excitement. I'm so excited. And then you hit that point where you're like, I'm not excited no more. I'm tired as hell. Like, so somebody save me.
How do I
Somebody
keep
comes
going?
in.
Right. And that's that hustle. That's that like
Grit.
It just falls in and you're like, okay,
get it together.
time to get it together.
Time to get it together. Time to keep on pushing. So now, here's another question now. When you are kind of at that crossroads, do you ever feel like, man, I'm about to just go back to this 9 to 5 because, man, I can't take it no more. If one more person tell me about their PTO, I will fight you for your PTO. I'm tired.
Or you know, about their kids that has an emergency and you cannot borrow money, but I'm not really asking, but if you're gonna give it to me, I'll take it. Like, like we all got some problems, you know. But I think about going back to 9 to 5 all the time. Like, I'm not against 9 to 5s at all. And the journey that I'm about to embark on is going to be very taxing financially, time, effort, energy. So if I could work a remote job for 6 figures, I'm doing that. Like, I'm not. I tell people that all the time. Even at the height of my business, when it was doing good, I'm not above a job. Ever. I'm not above a job. Like, I don't take that. I don't look down on anyone who works. I don't think that personally for me, that if I do get a job that gives me a lot of flexibility to still run my businesses, that's a setback for me. I think that I could learn even more by having a job, you know, in some capacity. Not that I want to work for someone long term or whatever. I'm not going to do that. But if I'm at a transitional space in my life and I think that it would be better for me and my business to get a job while I build this, while I do that, I'm going to do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that you learn community also when you work. Like, one of the reasons why I'm such a good manager of people is because I had a job as a paralegal and my law firm was amazing. They were very in tune with their employees. They created an environment that was conducive to positivity. You felt like you were a part of something, and so you wanted to work hard. And the way that they managed me was the same, you know, values that I brought to my employees. And they'll all, like, my employees love me. They will always say that I'm an excellent boss, but I will say one of the biggest mistakes I made in business was not firing people when I should have. One of the biggest mistakes, and it cost me a lot. You know, in you know, retraining or training new staff, having to try to find new staff when I could have been nipped this in the bud, got somebody else, and then that person potentially could have been with us for a longer period of time. But yeah, and I also feel like high turnover is a management issue. It's you. If people keep on leaving, it's you. And one thing I do as a business owner, I keep myself extremely accountable. And I talk to my people with respect. I don't ever belittle them or make them feel any type of way, because at the end of the day, these are people that are building my dreams.
Absolutely.
And without them, Like I don't have anything because I can't do it all. And that's another thing that a lot of entrepreneurs forget is you can't do it all. If you do, somewhere else is lacking. Somewhere else is lacking. You gotta find the money to hire one person to do something. Take it off your plate so you can focus on the financial aspect, on scaling, on growing, on how to run the day-to-day, because if you're doing everything, you can't see it. And that's always something like, when you're in it, you can't see it. Somebody on the outside is going to tell you something that might look so obvious, but because you're wearing all the hats and you're doing all of these things, you can't see it. And I think that that's what happened to me. In the beginning, I didn't think I had any money to pay anybody. Like, I had to do everything. I had to drive. I had to take care of it. I had to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would get off at 11 o'clock at night, and then I would go back up again at 4 o'clock in the morning. And emotionally, it was very hard. I don't know how I made it through that time frame. And I'm thankful for my friends, for my family, that really stepped up and took care of me, while I was building it. But yeah, business is hard.
and it does affect your personal life, like you were saying. That's something else we're going to talk about, is how when you are really in the thick of it, in that beginning process, it takes so much out of you. And I think sometimes people don't understand that. So it is great when you do have that support system, those people who are there for you, who are saying like, listen, I get it, what you need, X, Y, and Z. Or just someone to talk to, an emotional support system, because man, I'll tell you this much. At least I think for what we do sometimes, people don't really see or understand like how taxing it is on your body, mentally. Like, it takes a lot out of you. And so now you're trying to still nurture these personal relationships, and people are feeling neglected and feeling it, but they don't understand, like, I have to be here. Because if I'm not here, this thing is not going to run. Like, you have to understand, like, sacrifices have to be made. And when you have people who really understand that, it helps you really be able to grow and scale your business.
Exactly. Especially in the beginning. You shouldn't be like, what they say, the average business like literally ends within like the first year. I remember when me and Crystal made it to 3 years, people called me and congratulated me because they were like, do you realize y'all made it to 3 years? You know how many businesses would have never made it to 3 years? And me and Crystal were just like, we just working, not even thinking twice about it. We made some critical decisions at the very beginning that instead of being like, oh, we got to have the fanciest looking place, we were like, let's make sure we get a place that either if she was working by herself could be paid for, or if I were working by myself. So that meant, but those are decisions that you have to be intentional about. You know what I'm saying? Not just, I'm passionate about doing hair, I'm passionate about doing makeup, I'm just gonna do whatever. I'm gonna take all the risks. Like you said, you gotta be calculated about it. We took a risk, but it was like, okay, this risk still has some thought behind it, right?
It's mitigated. You thought of what could go wrong. And I think that's super important. Like, the first location for my business is in the hood. Like, it was, and we made a lot of money in that house. But to me, it was like, I was so scared. I'm like, I don't know. If I had to keep looking, I felt like we were never going to open. So I settled on this house, and then people didn't care.
They just wanted to get their service.
They wanted the service that we offered, as long as it was a good service. They didn't even know that it was in the hood, because most of my clientele does not live here. So imagine if we would have went and got something way nicer, way more money. And I think, again, that social media affects people's decision making, because they want that flower wall suite with the floor to ceiling windows and the crown molding everywhere, instead of understanding, hey, I gotta start here and then I can get there someday. But if I start there, how much money do I have to make in order to take care of all these expenses and take care of myself? And that's where, and even when you make it to 5 years, businesses fail as well. So it's like 10 years businesses fail. It's you have to figure out how to continuously scale, how to change the dynamic of your business, because times change. You got to be able to evolve. You got to be able to pivot. During COVID, restaurants that closed down, I didn't understand. Not in this type of city. You had to go to delivery, and if you talk to those owners, they will tell you they made more money. Doing delivery, making sure they could deliver alcohol, pivoting, changing the menu. That's something that's more conducive to being delivered.
So I think a lot of what happened was people did not set themselves up good financially. Like the back end, like your books need to be taken care of. Like, let's say for a lot of people didn't get loans. A lot of people didn't get PPP because they weren't doing their taxes. Their bookkeeping was not up to date. So it was so frustrating to see that this was something that was neglected in so many businesses, because if you had your stuff together, you would have been able to get help. You know? So sorry to cut you.
No, not at all. And that's a good point, because actually minorities were the ones who were most impacted by not being able to get funding because their books weren't in order. It was predominantly us. We were the ones that couldn't get the loans, that couldn't get the grants, because if they 4506 to you, what are they going to pull?
Right.
You didn't file your taxes. Some of them didn't even have bank accounts. If they did, it was an online bank account.
Yeah, and we heard a lot of that within the hair industry, because we heard about a lot of salons that went down. And we were like, this salon been open for, like you said, 10 plus years, but their paperwork, their books were not in order. And it's just like, so you just making cash money?
Yeah.
How are you able to get loans? How are you able? You cannot make a scalable business and America does not set you up for you to make a scalable business off of a cash business. It is set up for you to go get you a loan. They want to be all in your business. You make enough money so that they can be out your business, right? Because then you can go do what you want to do with your cash. But if you don't even have anything set up, you know what I'm saying? Then they make it where you can't get loans, you can't get any type of help. And they was throwing help left and right. We still getting some of the benefits of the help that they're offering. But we had an established business with a bank, with a CPA and all that other stuff. So you're making such a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing is I think as minorities, we're conditioned. I don't want to focus on minorities. I want to say instead as people, we're conditioned to really be afraid of that, right? What are you told from you're a little kid? You got to work hard, you got to go to school, you got to get a good job, and then, life will be worth living, right? Because you have this structure, you got this stability. But debt is very good. As long as you're not taking debt to go buy Chanel and post pictures on Instagram so you be in first class or whatever people do. If the debt services itself, meaning whatever business you open, whatever you dump that into, if it services itself, that's 100% worth it.
There's good debt and bad debt.
Yes, that's good debt. And with good debt, you could continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and until you reach the size business that you want. And another thing I really noticed, had to learn, was that not everybody wants to scale. Not everybody wants to continue to grow. Some people are happy with where they are, and statistics just show that if you don't evolve over time, either your business will close, you will suffer, and especially when the person who has all this driving force and this passion behind it passes away, who's gonna do it?
So true.
Who's gonna do it? So I think that's really important. Structure your business the right way. Go out and get the loans. Go get the credit unions. Look and see what grants. SCORE is like in every state, and SCORE is like a huge resource. They mentor you, they do your business plan for you, they tell you about funding, they help get your business prepared for funding. So yeah. SCORE.
No, absolutely. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. SCORE. So Nathalie, what is the ultimate goal for you in your business? Where do you see it going?
So the ultimate goal for me, honestly, is I want to be like completely retired by the time I'm 45. Like I want to be done working. I want to really just build businesses, scale them so I can sell them, and just live my life that way. Live my life off of my investments and take care of my family. But I don't want to continue to work. I've realized that I want a soft life. Like I want
but a soft life.
Yes, I want a soft life. I want an easy life. I want a relaxing life. I love to vacation. My mama ain't scared of planes no more. I'm trying to vacation with her.
I know, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to retire her within the next 24 months. That's my goal. But yeah, so I just want to, right now I'm focused mainly on medical businesses, on building those, because I've understood that they stand the test of time.
Yes.
And people are always going to be sick. There's always going to be a need for something medical. So that's the new venture, that we're going off into. And I want to make it a point, like, yes, I'm successful. Yes, I built a successful business, but I'm literally transitioning out of that business now into something that I have no idea what's going to happen. But my heart, the research that I've done God is telling me to go for it. Like the cards are falling in my favor. So I'm transitioning into a medical spa. I'm not a nurse. I don't have a medical background. So I might go back to nursing school so that I can inject, but I don't want to. But if I have to, I will.
Right.
And that's just a part of pivoting, right? That's a part of scaling. Recognizing, okay, so this well is running dry. So what you about to do? You about to lay down, or you about to fight and get to it? And that's just the point where I'm at right now. I own real estate, and I got a lot of problems with the real estate that I own. But I'm thankful that I have these assets, and I'm gonna use those assets to go get some more assets. So yeah, I just need people to understand that it is not easy, you know, and it's so when you become successful, and then like Crystal was saying, I can vacation now. I have staff, I have a general manager, I have people that can run my business where I don't have to go there anymore. You can get very complacent. You can get to like the point where, okay, well, life is great, but you got to keep that grit. And I always say, if you don't have grit, then it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to make it through all the challenges that comes with being an entrepreneur. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful. Like I have a great circle of people around me. I'm a resource for a lot of people, and I have a lot of people that are a resource for me. And I try to share as much as I can, you know, try to promote my friends' businesses. 9 times out of 10, if I have someone that does business, one of my friends has been to them. You can ask. They know almost everybody goes to the whole family. like you've encountered somebody that I do business with. My makeup artist is the same thing. The girl who makes my wigs is the same thing. Everything. I want you to win, and I want to be a resource, and they're a resource to me.
Absolutely.
So you get what you get back what you put in. And so
I think you're making such a powerful point about ecosystems. You know, like I just talked about this at church, and then we were just talking about community. And a lot of times people get into that. I think this is a hustler mentality and scammer mentality. I'm finna do this all by myself. I'm finna make all this money. This me. But you can't live on that. But if you create a community of people, it's almost like it's a wheel, but it's a wheel going up, because y'all are pushing each other up each time your business does well, you know, with your extensions and everything that you're doing. Then you're able to push me even further, and then I can push her, and we keep pushing each other up. But if you don't have a community of people, like we've seen those videos on social media where people be like, why is it that entrepreneurs can never tell people how they made it? I can't tell you about the 60-hour week that I worked. You want me to sit there and tell you every stitch that I put in somebody's hair, every braid I put into somebody's head? That's not gonna explain to you how I made it. I helped somebody randomly, and they randomly sent somebody to my salon. You know what I'm saying? And then that person told somebody else. It's what is happening when it comes to that ecosystem that you create, is you create something that is sustainable. Right? And that is what helps to grow your business. But when people have that mindset of I'm gonna do it all by myself, you don't create the ecosystem to support you even when you down. You know, like, hopefully I don't go too long with the story, but I remember my best friend told me her hairstylist got sick. This had nothing to do with COVID, none of that. All her clients came to help pay her bills.
Oh my God.
Because she had such a great community that she had created with her clientele.
awesome. That just gave me goosebumps.
I know. When she told me this, I was just like, oh my God. And not to say, I think that my clients would support me in that way if something happened for sure. But I was just like, that lets you know she was feeding into, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just about I'm the ponytail slanger, I'm the weave girl, I'm this, I'm that. I'm not just putting myself in a silo. I'm part of a community of people who are creating business or creating life together, regardless.
Absolutely. Community.
And to add to that, I want to say, like, for me, I'm at a point where I rather own 30% of a $10 million company than 100% of $1 million company.
Come on now.
I want help. I want people. You feel me? I want people that are smarter than me around me to help. And then if I'm the smartest person in the room, then there's a problem. I want to be around people that are constantly learning and constantly evolving and have reached further heights than me, so they can be a resource to me, and then I can be a resource to somebody else. So that the community, the ecosystem, is a huge part of succeeding. And just to say about the hairstylist and her clients, that was a hairstylist that provided more than a service. And so these people that you see, and you guys are professionals for sure. I know the standards that you guys have, but look at all of these girls on Instagram, you know, that have these outlandish rules and think it's sustainable. You might have clientele for now. You might be hot right now, but trust me, people are gonna get tired. I even was paying a lot of money for a service that I really liked for iTips, and when I first was going, it was like you pay a lot of money, so you expect a certain level of service that when you come for your appointment, it's on time. You know, when the person is there to do your hair, nobody else is gonna do it where you didn't know. Like clarity, transparency, and I stopped going for that same reason or not for that reason, excuse me, but because I started going and had to wait 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. And I'm paying you $1,000 to do my hair. I don't got time for that. I got to go. I already don't want to do my hair. So I'm here. That's the point. Doing it. And you're gonna be 2 hours late. That's a problem for me. And now it's texting me, hey love, how you been?
You missed my money, huh?
Yeah, but I'm an excellent client because I don't know how to do nothing. I don't know how to wash my own hair, flat iron my hair, so I'm gonna come every week to you. You don't want to lose me as a client, but that just, you know, it just goes. You gotta make it a real business. You gotta make sure you got real values, because somebody is gonna come cheaper than you, better than you, and maybe they even more than you, but they offer a better service, and people are gonna pay that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, so true, man. You guys, I'm listening to everyone speak. First of all, Nathalie, man, I'm so blown away. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you share with us. But this speaks to, well, Crystal, first of all, who's known you for so long. And then when I think about how long I've known Crystal, and just to see even the people working behind the scenes, you guys, like I always talk about our videographer, our photographer, we've known Kareem for so long. And I'm thinking to myself, as we're talking about the ecosystem and we're talking about the community, how all of these people who have been in our lives we've literally grown together. Like we've all watched each other grow. Like Kareem is traveling in Tennessee, and Jaleesa's business is flourishing, and of course ourselves, we've pivoted into speaking and not only being behind the chair. We're looking for different avenues and ways to grow as as stylists as well. So, man, Nathalie, you girl. I just want to go on the next trip with you, girl. And let me know when we flying out. So I can start money in the piggy bank from now, because I want to go with you, girl. Okay. Thank you so much for giving us all this information, and we wish you continued success with everything that you do, and that I know for a fact that you're not only going to help the people that work for you, but you're going to help your entire community, your family, your friends. You're going to make sure that we all level up together.
That's right.
That's to me, that's my biggest takeaway. I love to hear how important it is to people, because I'm a Caribbean girl, and when you think about family, you think about the things your parents, that the structure, the way they bring you up, it's like you don't leave your brothers and sisters behind. Like you got this, we all got it. We're all in this together. So that mentality is something that does carry, and it shows in your business and the way that you just view life in general. So it's beautiful to see. So thank you again, ladies. Any last words?
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Got a cheers.
Oh yeah.
Crystal, any last words?
No.
Crystal's like, why is Crystal so nervous? Crystal's like, no. But no, this was definitely a very informative episode and conversation. Nathalie, I wanted to know if maybe you could just, is your business on social media? I know you're pivoting into something new now, so that might not be out yet, but what you were doing before?
So essentially, it's EOS Aesthetic Center. It's going to be the med spa in Pembroke Pines. Will be open probably, I want to say by March or April of next year, God willing.
Yes.
But just look out for that. Opening a pharmacy as well in Miami. My business partner is a physician in a dispensary in Mississippi. So where can you follow me? EOS House of Healing right now.
Okay.
But look out for our other brands.
Okay, absolutely. So, guys, we'll put all the information in our bio, so you guys can keep up with Nathalie and see what she's up to and all the great things she's going to be getting into. And if y'all need a job, I'm saying, she already told you she's a fun boss. I want to come work for you. I want to be a part of that too. So definitely we'll put all the information out there. You guys, this was a wonderful episode. Cheers to you, Nathalie. Cheers to you, all the best. Continued success. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, you guys. We have so many more amazing guests that'll be coming on, we'll be having great conversations with. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Hey, nah. Delve into emotion. Leave us in this moment. Yeah.